fearsome with her great sword, and a lover of her people, but a leader? She wasn't quite sure that was what she wanted for herself. That decision was made for her, though, the day the men from the south arrived. Men of the cities, men of kings and money and of power. Men looking to expand, looking to take what wasn't theirs. Times were quickly changing. She was told upon their arrival that the old gods were dead, and soon their way of life would be as well. A bloody fight ensued, many were killed, and not many of her people managed to survive the attack. Many of their rival and neighboring tribes fared no better. Her father, pulling her away from heartache and death, told her to run, to leave her land, to leave her home, and to head for New Verdalka, to gain power there, rise in the ranks of the people, to make them understand, to put an end to this taking of their land. And so, she ran. Morganix Amela is not an adventurer, thank you very much. She's a librarian. She would have been perfectly happy living out her days in a life committed to study and charity. A calm, quiet life where nothing more terrible than the accidental burning of toast ever happened. Sadly, that was just not in the cards. Morganix was an only child when her dreams took on a decidedly odd turn. They were fuzzy at first. She would wake knowing something unusual had occurred, and her dreams had felt not normal. She eventually was able to remember a male voice speaking to her, and eventually that voice named itself Galadar. During a night of uneasy sleep, Galadar came to her with a dire warning. An evil person with a great weapon of power had died in a secret tomb in a nearby forest. He urged Morganix to retrieve the weapon so that it could be turned over to the right people. Upon discovery of the hilt, she stared at it with utter bewilderment. Morganix raised her eyes to see a rough-looking mercenary, an arrow notched, ready to pierce her heart. At that moment, the hilt began to speak to her. In a state of panic, Morganix couldn't later recall what exactly it had said. She only knew that it had promised to get her out of that place alive if, something. In an instant, Morganix was safely back in the forest. She ran far, far, far away, and, just far enough away to safely have another panic attack. Upon return to the College of Hearthcrest, she had an idea, and it was as good an idea as any. She decided to go to Efera. There was a senior member of the college who studied anomalies like this. She swore she would take a year, just 1 year, to overcome her fear of this thing. She would either master it or find a way to contain its evil, if it truly was evil. She would study and understand it in a safe place, far, far, far away from the people she loved. Varnast Halmaru is a Tempest cleric from the Western Salamander. He serves the gods of Estitia and Acadia, the primordial embodiment of water and wind. His faith and unwillingness to bend his morals won him the respect of his peers, but also the ire of his superiors. When we first met Varnast, he was a member of the Golden Shield, serving under Agatha Durandon. However, she grew tired of his disapproval towards her actions, and ultimately had him killed at the hands of his own comrades. Yet, this would not be the end of Varnast. He awoke in a nearby jungle, receiving a vision from a spirit in the form of a wolf. He was shown the party and knew that he was tasked to protect and aid these people. Now, Varnast serves as a protector for the party, though his stubbornness and ruthless nature towards those he deems evil has led to contention at times. Sayla was born in the Seraph. Her mother and father were lowly followers. They worked long hours as laborers and seemed content with their lives, happy to be what they were and nothing more. They preached about humble beginnings and using peaceful methods to solve problems. They stuck close to their religion and never swayed, trying to teach their daughter the same. Unfortunately, life would find a way of twisting that girl into be something else. She was never meant to be a lowly follower of a laborer in the great city of the Seraph, nor was a life of peace and humble ways appealing to her. Self-centered, and nothing like what her parents wished her to be. She grew up going against their wishes. She always seemed to be in a constant state of rebellion. Eventually, this led to her father having no choice. She was cast out, forced to live on her own. She learned, and she grew, joining the Thieves Guild where she honed her skills. It was there that she learned more about the world, that there was so much more than just the Seraph. She also learned that she had a knack for murder. She had taken a job as a hired killer. Merchants are incredibly cutthroat beings. They'll do anything to stay on top. Some years passed and she finally had made enough gold to move. She had chosen the city of New Verdalka for its cutthroats and its vibrant culture. A colorful place, perfect to rise up and make something of yourself, unlike her stagnant home of the Seraph. She would travel to Efera to start her new life. From there, she would hide what she was doing behind a treasure-hunting persona. She would take contracts on the side while hunting a fortune to boost her status. It was time to live and let the fun begin. Zamir Dragu, more affectionately known as Cyrus, is a wild magic tiefling sorcerer from the city of Sloshdet. Or, at least so he thought. Troubled by his lack of knowledge or memory of his gift of wild magic, Cyrus finds himself drinking to dull and suppress his innate magical abilities. Originally fleeing from New Verdalka from the city of Dragon's Bay after seizing an opportunity during a gambling match and a wild magic accident. Cyrus has a checkered past with Duradine Dupree, who is now in pursuit of both the group and their current objective. While Cyrus is still his own biggest fan, he has found himself to care for his companions of happenstance. They stand by him after magical surges and learning details of his checkered and indulgent past. He hides most of his emotion through alcohol or a laugh, but can lash out through a wild magic, whether intentional or not. Now, Cyrus sees an opportunity not only to sever his tie to his past that still threatens him, but to potentially rewrite his past as a whole and find out who he really is and where his magic comes from. Alex Silverfoot is a native of Efera. Her people lived deep within the northern jungles, far from civilization and far from the burgeoning city of New Verdalka. Her people took pride in living off the land, communing with the spirits of the earth, and maintaining the ways of the old gods. Alec is the first daughter of the chieftain and first in line to one day become chieftain herself, though she much prefers running about in the trees, wasting times with the cubs, or hunting for the lost treasures of the old times. She may be sharp, fearsome with her greatsword, and a lover of her people, but a leader? She wasn't quite sure that was what she wanted for herself. That decision was made for her, though, the day the men from the south arrived. Men of the cities, men of kings and money and of power. Men looking to expand, looking to take what wasn't theirs. Times were quickly changing. She was told upon their arrival that the old gods were dead, and soon their way of life would be as well. A bloody fight ensued, many were killed, and not many of her people managed to survive the attack. Many of their rival and neighboring tribes fared no better. Her father, pulling her away from heartache and death, told her to run, to leave her land, to leave her home, and to head for New Verdalka, to gain power there, rise in the ranks of the people, to make them understand, to put an end to this taking of their land. And so, she ran. Morganix Amela is not an adventurer, thank you very much. She's a librarian. She would have been perfectly happy living out her days in a life committed to study and charity. A calm, quiet life where nothing more terrible than the accidental burning of toast ever happened. Sadly, that was just not in the cards. Morganix was an only child when her dreams took on a decidedly odd turn. They were fuzzy at first. She would wake knowing something unusual had occurred, and her dreams had felt not normal. She eventually was able to remember a male voice speaking to her, and eventually that voice named itself Galadar. During a night of uneasy sleep, Galadar came to her with a dire warning. An evil person with a great weapon of power had died in a secret tomb in a nearby forest. He urged Morganix to retrieve the weapon so that it could be turned over to the right people. Upon discovery of the hilt, she stared at it with utter bewilderment. Morganix raised her eyes to see a rough-looking mercenary, an arrow notched, ready to pierce her heart. At that moment, the hilt began to speak to her. In a state of panic, Morganix couldn't later recall what exactly it had said. She only knew that it had promised to get her out of that place alive well, something. In an instant, Morganix was safely back in the forest. She ran far, far, far away, and, well, just far enough away to safely have another panic attack. Upon return to the College of Hearthcrest, she had an idea, and it was as good an idea as any. She decided to go to Efera. There was a senior member of the college who studied anomalies like this. She swore she would take a year, just 1 year, to overcome her fear of this thing. She would either master it or find a way to contain its evil. If it truly was evil, she would study and understand it in a safe place, far, far, far away from the people she loved. Varnast Halmaru is a Tempest cleric from the Western Salamander. He serves the gods of Estitia and Acadia, the primordial embodiment of water and wind. His faith and unwillingness to bend his morals won him the respect of his peers, but also the ire of his superiors. When we first met Varnast, he was a member of the Golden Shield, serving under Agatha Durandon. However, she grew tired of his disapproval towards her actions and ultimately had him killed at the hands of his own comrades. Yet, this would not be the end of Varnast. He awoke in a nearby jungle, receiving a vision from a spirit in the form of a wolf. He was shown the party and knew that he was tasked to protect and aid these people. Now, Varnast serves as a protector for the party, though his stubbornness and ruthless nature towards those he deems evil has led to contention at times. Sayla was born in the Seraph. Her mother and father were lowly followers. They worked long hours as laborers and seemed content with their lives, happy to be what they were and nothing more. They preached about humble beginnings and using peaceful methods to solve problems. They stuck close to their religion and never swayed, trying to teach their daughter the same. Unfortunately, life would find a way of twisting that girl into be something else. She was never meant to be a lowly follower of a laborer in the great city of the Seraph, nor was a life of peace and humble ways appealing to her. Self-centered, and nothing like what her parents wished her to be. She grew up going against their wishes. She always seemed to be in a constant state of rebellion. Eventually, this led to her father having no choice. She was cast out, forced to live on her own. She learned, and she grew, joining the Thieves Guild, where she honed her skills. It was there that she learned more about the world, that there was so much more than just the Seraph. She also learned that she had a knack for murder. She had taken a job as a hired killer. Merchants are incredibly cutthroat beings. They'll do anything to stay on top. Some years passed, and she finally had made enough gold to move. She had chosen the city of New Verdalka for its cutthroats and its vibrant culture. A colorful place, perfect to rise up and make something of yourself, unlike her stagnant home of the Seraph. She would travel to Efera to start her new life. From there, she would hide what she was doing behind a treasure-hunting persona. She would take contracts on the side while hunting a fortune to boost her status. It was time to live and let the fun begin. Zamir Dragu, more affectionately known as Cyrus, is a wild magic tiefling sorcerer from the city of Sloshdet.
Up and hello there, everybody. Welcome. I'm so sorry for the delays. My wife and I just got back from a road trip, but we're here now. So welcome to Roll with Advantage. My name is Joe. I am the DM. I am accompanied by all of my wonderful players here, and today we are going to play some real American problems. Today we're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons. As we are almost every Friday. It's been a little spotty the past couple of months, but that's okay. As with every Friday, we are playing the Explorers of Efera. So unless anybody has anything to say, I think that the people have waited long enough, and I think they deserve to get their game. So does anybody have anything they'd like to say?
Let's get to it.
Let's get to it. All right. Ryan speaks for the whole, so sorry if you had something you wanted to say. Ryan ruined your chance.
I nixed that.
Okay.
Ethan knows
So
what's up.
let me go ahead and make sure we got everything working here. We've waited long enough. No, I'm not. I've already talked about how I'm going to be better about that. Could I just have real quick somebody do a test roll for me, just to make sure that the stream is staying updated?
Sure. Oh, someone else beat me to it. That's fine.
Okay.
What? They're all free.
I got an 8. You guys suck.
Wow.
It's either going to be a really good or a really bad day, guys.
Well,
Well,
either we're in
Bark
sync and we're
Club.
good, or we're in sync and we're shit. So.
Well, I guess we will just have to play and see. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So last we had left off, this always receiving the short end of the stick group of adventurers, of explorers, of, well, the past few days, defenders. All of you, after going through the scapegoats of New Efera, exactly. After going through the torrential torment of the past practically 4 months for all of you, between arriving in New Verdalka, thinking that your lives were going to change to the better, only to slowly slip down a drain of regret and bad decisions, and in a seemingly inescapable trap of disaster. Going from New Verdalka, traveling all the way up to New Efera, discovering all of these different things about the natives and how they interact with the people in the colonists of Efera, and the Governado, and the Tarkirian Trading Company, a malicious wing of the company, the expansion wing of the company, who was tasked with colonizing Efera for the sole purpose of money and growth. You all having so many things come to light, not only about those companies and the natives, but also the thing that you were tasked with finding originally, the lost city of Nibiru. This place that was supposed to be full of magic and wealth and knowledge, but turns out it isn't. It is the heart of everything that causes the natives to be who they are. Their innate connection with nature, it's in Nibiru. And apparently, people want that. A lot of different people want that, whether it be Yanogu and Korvak and the Knolls, or the Tarkirian Trading Company in Durudin Dupri, or the Governado, or, well, Jalissa, long ago wanted it as well. But now new information has come to light, and, well, a lot of new things have come to light, and it seems as though searching for the lost city of Nibiru has come to a pause, because after discovering your next clue, the next thing you needed to do, going to the remaining tribes and completing a trial in an effort to gain access to Nibiru and to be able to awaken the defenders, well, that was put on pause, because as you returned to the world of Efera, outside of the mystical nature of the natives, you returned to the people who are currently living there, trapped in this terrible place. And you learn that there is a revolution that has been going on for 3 months that, well, is almost come to a close, and not in favor of the side that you want to. All's Crossing, supposedly the last stand of the rebellion. But all of you arrived, and through some extreme, heinous and far-fetched plans, you seemingly have delayed what was inevitable, whether it be disabling the Hellfire Cannon that would have leveled All's Crossing, or challenging a man of honor from Tarkir to a one-on-one duel and allowing Cyrus to duel 14. Apparently a previous trainee and student of Runemaster Immaril. Well, you won. Time and time again, you overcame insurmountable odds, seemingly in your favor. Now, in a moment of breath and respite, you were able to weed out who the rat was. A simple farm boy, Douglas Filigree. A poor boy just wanting to find his sister, the only family he has left in the world, just wanting to be able to reunite with her, and he was willing to do anything for it, even if it meant doing the wrong thing. You found out of his treachery and locked him in a cell. Luckily, thanks to the forgiving nature of Morganix, her kind heart.
Yeah, it's okay, just forget my name.
No, sorry. Trouble was biting the Ethernet cable, which normally wouldn't be a big deal. But while I'm streaming, it's a pretty big deal. Get out of here. Okay. So, Morganix, thanks to her kind heart and forgiveness, Douglas was able to confront the truth that they had been lying to him, and was now willing to do anything if it meant recouping and building back up from the mistakes that he made. So, with that, Morganix, your conversation had just concluded. You exit out of the jail cells beneath the Mother's Tree, those cells entirely comprised of wood and vines, interconnected via and in a lattice formation. You leave, looking for your allies to tell them of the new information. So are you making any pit stops on that journey, or are you headed straight to grab everybody, like everybody, or just the party?
Everybody.
Alrighty. So you head off, and it's not hard. You know, obviously you are a mover and shaker in this town. You've done quite a bit for the people here, and they are eagerly ready to do anything that you might ask of them. So we'll probably say 15-20 minutes, all of the party members, Sayla, Cyrus, Varnast, Alec, and yourself, along with Thomas, Fro, Nahala, Philip, anybody else, or...
I think those are the big ones.
Okay, all right. So you gather then everybody in the tavern at the center of All's Crossing, the place where you've done most of your meetings and conversations. Gather everybody together, and as finally Philip and Nahara enter the tavern, the last two to enter, you have everyone's attention.
I've been speaking with Douglas, and he wants to help us. We need to figure out what story we're going to have him spin. Hello?
Wait.
I don't mean to speak or for everyone, but I mean, I don't think it's such a bad idea that they don't think I've recovered from the fight. At least, I think that's at least going to be particularly useful information to pass through Douglas.
I think that as well, that we're trying to find somebody else who can control the Guardians, and that we're in a bit of a low-key panic, perhaps.
Or hell, that... Better yet, they're not even active. They only respond to me, and if I'm not there, they'll think we are completely undefended.
Yeah.
The problem is they still might wait for their assassin strategy to pan out. We need to really make it something that they feel they need to act.
Could
he pass on that maybe he's heard talk of reinforcements on the way?
Oh, that would be interesting. Alec, what do you think?
She's just kind of like standing in the corner this whole time. She looks a little bit more relieved, weirdly enough. But she would step forward and she would just say, I think that it is wise to lead them to believe that Cyrus is extremely injured, perhaps even dying. We're unsure if we can bring him back. They think that they have at least not won, but have some kind of upper hand over us, it's not a bad idea. But if they're sending assassins, we have to hide him. Or if we have those rings of disguise, still that might not be a bad idea either. Reinforcements is a good move if we're wanting to. Is our goal to attract them back here?
Well, that depends. Victory can come in many different forms. If we need to just destroy their numbers and it comes down to a fight, then yes, we need to do something that will convince Ethos to lead his army in so that we can spring our trap and take out as many as we can. But there are problems that come with that, even if everything goes according to plan. Like we've said, Ethos isn't a fool. He's clearly a trusted servant if he's been sent to deal with this matter once and for all. So he's probably still going to take out potentially many of our numbers, which, even if we win, it'll make the next fight all that much harder.
My question is, what is this even about anymore? Is it for All's Crossing, or is it simply to make a point? If they are willing to send assassins for us, perhaps the goal isn't to take All's Crossing. Perhaps it is just, again, to make a point to us. We seem to be more of the threat than the city itself.
I think they probably think if they take out the leadership, the city will just roll over and let them in.
I mean, I think Morganix is right. Cut off the head of the snake and they assume the body dies, although the snake is far too handsome for that.
Alec just blinks. Right.
Cyrus kind of looks at the roof for like a reaction, like, right?
Morganix nods and gives a subtle thumbs up.
Thomas will go, you are indeed handsome, yes. Yes.
I just think we need to be clear on what our end game here is. Are we luring them back to take out their forces? Or are we giving them a false sense of hope and then hoping that they just don't return? Because they think they've ended it.
Gods, I mean...
They'll return.
I think... I hate to say it, but I think... I think Varnest and Sailor agree with me here. We can't run them away. We need to finish as many of them as we can.
There may be an alternative. Nahala, if you had to, how long could everyone in here survive off of the food and supplies you have? Worst case scenario.
You see her kind of look, and she's definitely thinking. After a few moments, she responds and looks to Philip, and I believe that we could probably last for... Well, in all honesty, the interior, everything that is elevated, is fairly self-sustaining. If we were able to successfully hold them at bay, I don't see why we couldn't hold them and stay fed and healthy for, what, Philip? 6-7 months? Yeah, thanks to the nature of Efera and no cold snaps, everything stays fertile pretty much all year round, so 6-7 months probably, without getting any new supplies. We'd have to dwindle down there at the end, but that's more than enough time for hopefully
And what is the
anything.
plan? Varn asked exactly.
Well, I had a thought come to mind, but it's a pretty big stretch, I have to acknowledge. But I've been thinking lately, what does everyone here know about the Tarkarian Trading Company as a whole?
Unfortunately, rather a lot.
All right, well, then you know that, first and foremost, as the name implies, they are a company. They are a business. Durdine Dupree is not the overall head of the entirety of the Tarkarian Trading Company. He leads a subset of it. A powerful subset, I acknowledge, but a subset. And he is a particularly ruthless member at that.
You can say it, Vonis. He's a prick. The guy's a prick. I've met him. He's a nasty, fat little prick. I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize to me. I've never met the man. We're not friends. Anyways.
I've won his money.
I think they're setting Ethos up to take the fall for whatever happens at All's Crossing. Eventually, word's going to get out about what they've done here. Threatening to execute criminals, bringing a Hellfire cannon to devastate a city full of refugees. Even if it's not used, that's a bad look. And people talk. Eventually, the story of what happened here, or what could have happened here, will get out. And you know that Duradine's not going to take the fall. You know that Governado's not going to take the fall. So, who do they set up to take the fall when that happens?
Athos.
Correct. Someone who is expendable. And we've seen, when 14 was talking about Emerald, Agatha, the Governado, we've seen plenty of evidence that these people are completely willing to destroy and abandon the people that are beneath them to meet their own goals and objectives. What if we convince Ethos that a stalemate is the best option?
He marched on us with Hellfire cannon and more troops than we have. I think he's really going to just stand down.
He hasn't sent them coming at us yet. For what little I know of him, I don't know the man. I don't know how much his heart is in this, but everything he's done, it seems like he's been trying to mitigate how many lives are being taken. Hell, the man came at us alone to try and see if we could have a peaceful solution. Now, don't get me wrong, you did the right thing to Hollow. That was bullshit, but I gotta admire at least a little bit of the man for trying to save some lives.
What is our...
He's Tarkir. I mean, he might be on the side of pricks, but he'll keep his word. At least from what I know, I know.
Plus,
what is our bargain here? For my understanding, for things like this to work, we have to have something that he wants.
it's
What if we
self-preservation.
just turn them
for-
against each other?
I don't know if that would work, but if we convince him that this is a move for self-preservation, think about it. If he, instead of coming in and wiping us all out, if he just keeps us surrounded, if he prevents, the resistance or the revolution from spreading or gaining strength by just keeping us at bay, then whatever happens, he's not to blame for anything. If anything, he's the one who peacefully saved the lives of his men and, all the peasants and women and children that are still in here from a very unnecessary death.
I can't help but feel like we're avoiding the bigger issue. I don't think it's Ethos. I think it's the South. Whether or not Ethos decides to return or not, I'm certain the South will be coming. It's led by a ruthless, awful woman. And she will not stand for honor. She will absolutely rush this town.
Then perhaps we just prepare for that.
Well,
And Emariel told me, she has just as many forces as he did, and Ballista.
like I said, it's a stretch, but even if we just convince Ethos to stand down to where we only have to worry about an attack from one end, it raises the odds heavily in our favor. I think it's at least worth a shot to talk to him.
I I would agree that the primary problem is the South, and I do think it's worth a conversation. However, I definitely think we feed as much information and perhaps even disinformation to kind of destabilize them through Douglas. That is a golden ticket.
I
I
agree.
agree.
Yeah.
I'm not against the Douglas plan. I apologize if it came off that way. I'm just
No, I
trying to
also
think of the
agree.
bigger picture.
If we can somehow convince Ethos that stalemate is a better option, then I agree. My worry is that he'll push to occupy the town. And she kind of looks at Nahara. I don't think anybody wants that. But if we can agree that the people are free to come and go as they please, and there are no soldiers kept within the city itself, I think that is a better option. And we continue to feed Douglas, or we begin to feed Douglas misinformation, and we worry about the South for now. And if you're confident, Varnas, that we can come to an understanding with Ethos, then that is in our favor.
As I said, I don't know the man, but
At that moment, I forgot to say he would definitely be here, but I forgot to mention at the beginning. But Sir Lapierre would be here because he was one of the survivors of the Knights of Dawn, and he is Tarkirian, same as kind of as Cyrus, but definitely as Ethos. And he says, Varnest, I think that might be a particularly interesting idea. He kind of strokes the salt and peppered beard. I think that it could work. Ethos, there were many times when we were in court in Tarkir together. Ethos is... he is an honorable man, to say the least. I have confidence that due to Cyrus's victory, he will be more than happy to withdraw his forces, and he will... well, he would rather fall on his sword than go back on his word. Not exactly the type of person who tends to fraternize with those Tarkarian trading company cunts, but you know. So I think that if you can play to his honor, if you can appeal to that, yeah, I think that there might be a way for at least him to stand down. And, well, if you can press the right buttons, you might be able to convince him to do what is honorable. Do you know what I mean?
I believe I do.
How do we talk to him?
I can take care of that. I can arrange a meeting. Assuming he'll agree to it.
If that's the case, then we decide right here and now the state of Cyrus. He's dying, and we have no way to revive him. None of our magics are working. We're not sure if when he was pulling his magic, if he just pulled too far and we can't get him to wake. And the golems themselves are unmoving. They are only responsive to Cyrus.
We're trying other magic users, and they won't react to anyone but Cyrus.
We are scared, and we are not sure of our numbers and our strength.
Well, should he ask about Cyrus, I'll probably avoid the question, which when Douglas eventually communicates with him and speaks about his condition, that will probably add a, what's the word I'm looking for? This isn't Varnas, this is Ryan. Thank you. It'll probably add some credibility to what he's saying if I'm not addressing Cyrus, assuming he asks about him at all.
Okay.
I mean,
oh, sorry.
So Philip is gonna pipe up, and he's gonna say, "Now, I don't Listen, whatever you all decide is right, I'm more than happy to go in with it. I mean, without any of you, there's a really good chance. Well, not even a really good chance. There's a definite chance that we wouldn't even be here right now. But I do have to say, it does make me a little uncomfortable. The idea of you all, I mean, even if it is under somebody who's supposedly an honorable man, leaving the city, leaving the town outside of the walls to communicate with this noble. I don't know.
I can't see him coming into the city, not when he's outnumbered.
We would have to meet outside. Not far. Within sight, perhaps, but
Philip brings
come
up.
in here.
I mean, the last time he did come for a chat, he was shot, so I can't say I blame the man. Once again, you did the right thing, but... What?
Nothing. Sorry.
I think it would be best if I offered to go meet him alone.
If he is a man of honor, like you all say he is, he should indeed honor that fact and come alone, but that's not to say... Go ahead.
No, I'm so sorry. My headset was choppy. I didn't hear that you were talking. Please go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, you're fine. She was just saying that it's not to say that, Varnas, you shouldn't be careful. Because, as we know, this is very unpredictable. I suggest you don't meet far.
Perhaps Sir LaPierre should go with, if they have some history?
Well, it is custom honorary, back when Turkey was a warring nation within itself, that you would be, if you were parlaying, you would take a guardian, a protector, if you will. If this should be me, I will say that I don't believe Ethos was exactly happy to see me the first time. There were some amorous connections between me and someone who was rather close to him back when I was in Turkey.
So not LaPierre?
No, probably not.
Look, I'll talk to him and see what he's willing to do. He came to us on his own. If he asks the same of me for a conversation, I'm going to honor it.
Have we any word from the south? And she kind of looks to Nahara.
Nahara, she turns and she looks to Philip. Or not Philip. She turns and looks to Thomas. And Thomas says, well, last I had heard, there was a little signal from the Wayfinders who had traveled south. They returned just earlier today and said there was no sight of any forces along the south. They didn't bother going all the way to the Leaping King as, their last report about a week ago, and most of the forces were stationed there. It seems as though they're not marching north.
There's something very strange about that.
We did have word that they were delayed. We did intercept those messages, but it is strange.
Was, perhaps maybe they planned on sending the assassins in place of the army?
Maybe, but there's no point in speculating, or we could come up with 1,000 different theories.
That is true.
We need to focus on what we need to do now. I'll arrange the meeting with Ethos, or at least try. We also need to decide what Philip is going to tell them. How long do we have until sundown? Because that's when they next communicate.
I think that it would be
5 hours.
Yeah, 4 or 5 hours, about.
Okay, plenty of time to figure out what to tell him.
Yeah.
I trust you all can take care of that.
Yeah, I think we've got a handle on that.
Okay. I need to go make a phone call.
Just text him.
And
Yeah.
sorry, what's your phone? Okay.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
It's okay.
As long as Ethos answers new phone, who dis?
Hey, you up?
Oh man.
Hey, you up? I hate
I'd
that.
love to spend some time with you, unless.
All right. All right.
Okay. Okay, so you, so everybody kind of, Philip and Ahara, and give you a nod, and they head out. Lapierre, he sort of sits back down at the table he was sitting at, goes back to drinking his wine. Thomas and Fro, they're going to go ahead and head back out towards south side, where they were near the Wayfinder's hearth, collecting the information there. So that means left in the room is just you 5. So then, Varnast, do you, unless you guys want to just hang out in the room while he was sending the message.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Hang on, I have to type it out just because I need to make sure that I don't mess up with 25
Oh,
words.
your word count?
Yeah.
Actually, while you're doing that,
I don't have a sending stone to use.
Kayla, could you do me a huge favor?
Yes.
In my laptop bag, in the front zipper, there are some pens in there. If you could bring me a pencil or a pen, that would be amazing. Thank you. Yeah, I realized I sat down and I was like, oh shit, I don't have a pen. I don't have anything to write with. Thank you. Ooh, mystical hand. Okay. Oh man, there's like hot glue on this. This is fun. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. So then, the other, well, you 3 are just hanging out in the tavern area as well?
Yeah, I think Alec would just kind of like look to Morganix and she'll just say, Douglas, how does he seem regretful for what he's done?
Extremely. He's
Good.
realized he's been manipulated. We had a bit of a breakthrough. It was rough.
I hope that he can come out a better person on the other side then.
I think he will.
She just kind
I'm
of...
ready. Oh, okay.
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, I just came up with a message, but Varnas can wait if we have more things to talk about.
Nope.
All right, y'all ready?
Yep. I'm ready at least.
Yep.
Okay. Let me just mark off a 3rd level spell slot.
Heck yeah.
So I cast Sending to Ethos Ambrose.
Alrighty. Picture him in your mind. You
Yep.
prepare the words, and you say...
Ethos, this is Varnast. We should meet and chat. I'm willing to meet under your terms. Let me know what they are. Use words wisely.
Okay. Alright. A couple of brief moments. And you receive a response. Very well. "20 minutes from the bridge. North. Bring a witness."
Is that it?
That's it.
Okay.
You pooping?
I relay all this to everyone.
You want to bring with?
Sorry, I was just going to say that witness did not... There was no, like... there was no aggression in what he said. So witness, not like... Bring a witness for the murder. Like, that was not the energy.
No, I didn't take it that way.
Okay, good. Can I get a witness?
I'll go.
Do you want to? You'll go?
Yes.
That's a bad idea.
Why?
Well, because we have to consider that this could go south very easily.
Which is even more reason why I should be there.
I'd rather have you staying here, making sure everyone's okay in case things go south.
I could go. I'm not on their list. There's no assassin for me.
You could also fly away, worst case scenario.
No, well, something similar, yeah.
Or, sorry, turn invisible. Sorry, I was thinking about the potion. My bad.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, you could turn invisible and get away.
I could do that for both of us.
Well, there you go.
I suppose I'll stay here.
Okay.
Just be careful. And if something does go wrong, you need a way to let us know.
Watch the sky.
Right.
I can send up an Eldritch Blast or something if he turns on us.
He said 20 minutes from the bridge. We should get going now. And we can have some horses for the trip.
That can be arranged, yeah.
Then let's go.
Alrighty.
By the way,
Okay.
Nahala.
She had.
No, she left.
Yeah,
Crap.
she left. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you wanted
Okay.
to go grab her real quick, you can.
Yeah, would definitely grab her. Whether that doesn't have to be the next thing we do, but I would definitely talk before we left.
Okay, for sure. Unless you had anything else you wanted to do aside from get the horses, yeah, that you'd be good to go get her.
I think Varnast is just ready to go because Ethos didn't even have to agree to a meeting, so it's probably best not to keep him waiting.
My guy said 20 minutes. That's not far.
Yeah.
Which means he can't be that far away either.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And we have 4 or 5 hours until we have to do the thing with Douglas, so I'm not necessarily worrying about not getting back in time, right?
Oh yeah, no. Nah.
And if I, for some reason, weren't back, Alec and Cyrus know.
Yeah, I mean, we were all kind of on the same page of what to do and what to have him say, so everything
Yeah.
should be fine, theoretically.
Okay.
You know, like the last 4 sessions have gone just
Yeah,
as planned.
completely to plan. We're not going to
Nailed
have
it.
a pocket dimension for 3 months. It's fine.
Anyway,
What was it, John Cena? Okay.
Okay. Alrighty. So you guys head out.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Sounds good to me. So you head off, and oh wait a second. Actually, it is still the daytime. Okay. So get your horses, and you head.
find Nahala?
Oh, find Nahala. Okay, so yeah, you guys head out, and it takes you maybe just a few minutes to walk around, ask a couple questions, and eventually people point you in the right direction of Nahala. Nahala and Philip are both still together right now, but as you approach, Nahala waves you down and says, "Hello. What's going on?"
So we're about to go meet with Ethos, myself and Morganix. There's obviously a possibility that he might try to negotiate in terms of our plan or our agreement. I need to make sure I have your authority before I strike any deals, though. Do you trust me to speak on the behalf of this city?
Philip put it best earlier, Varnest. Without any of you, we would not be here. I have trust that with Stygia and Arcadia's guidance, you will do what you think is best for All's Crossing. I trust that you would not do anything that would lead to its destruction or anything else that some of these people would want to do to it.
I just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Of course.
We need to go. We'll see you soon, though.
May the mother guide you. She puts her fist up to her chest and nods her head.
May the wind always be at your back.
She smiles a little smile. And then her and Philip turn away, heading back to what they were doing. So, you and Morganix get horses, and you ride off. Okay? Alrighty. Get your horses. You ride about 20 minutes, and you can see that there is a small clearing on the outside of the town, right off of the road, and you can see, torch in his hand, Ethos Ambrose, and he is standing alone.
He has no witness?
He has no witness.
Boy.
That we can see.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get up close to him, Varnas looks over at Morganix. If things go south, we have to get out of this ourselves.
Of course.
We can't force All's Crossing to come to our defense. They have to retain that position. You're with me on this, right?
South, I'm casting invisibility on us both.
Okay.
If you can, try to get to me and I can thunderstep us away. Give us a head start.
All right.
Won't be able to take the horses, but still treat them nice.
I would assume so. You ready?
Yeah.
He gives you a nod, and he'll get off his horse, probably 20 feet away from Ethos, and get off and then walk over to him. Unless Ethos is standing right by his horse. Or does he even have a horse, or is he just standing there?
No, Ethos has a horse. It would be tied to this tree right here.
Okay, we'll do something similar. We'll keep ours a little bit
Morganix
back.
will follow Varnas' example.
Okay, so the two of you in the middle of this forest clearing, maybe 10 feet away from him? Just kind of where your minis are right now? Okay.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Tokens.
We'll probably be standing right next to each other, though.
Okay. Alrighty. So, as the two of you approach, he's standing 10 feet in front of you, torch in his hand, just as a signal. And he says, I'm glad there are two of you. Varnas, Morganix. You can see he has no weapons on him. He has his armor on still, but no weapons.
If you asked me to come unarmed, I would have.
No. I feel as though that would have caused some issues. So, as a gesture of good faith, I thought it'd be best that you come with someone else, and I come unarmed.
You do us a kindness after how you were treated the first time you came to us.
Well, it's not exactly the loser's place to make judgments and calls at that of the victor.
I felt we needed to speak about the situation. You're not what I thought you were. I misjudged you. I can acknowledge that. I've been dealing with the Golden Shields, the Tarkirian Trading Company, for such a small portion of my life, and yet have not enjoyed what I've seen from them. When you were sent up here, I thought you were just another one of their thugs. You've held yourself differently, though. and I can respect that. I truly believe that you've been trying to succeed in your mission while trying to cost as few lives as possible, both on our side and on yours. Tell me, were you even going to use the Hellfire Cannon?
No. There are so many innocent people in that town.
Insight check. Do I believe him?
Ooh, yeah, go and make an insight check. Ooh, that was the quickest insight check in the West right there. Woo.
Oh god, please.
That was a good one to jump on.
Mother bitch, cock-sucking fuck.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's made his way around royal courts, and you can tell that he has a very eloquent way of speaking, and you're not sure if it's honesty or just honeyed words.
In the real world, I would have thrown these dice away like 3 sessions ago.
Just change their color, and that way they're like new dice.
Okay.
Anyways, it sounded like he was still talking, or was that all he said?
No. He had more to say. So,
Innocent people in that town. When I came to all of you originally, I pleaded with you to have an occupation, to move my soldiers in with no bloodshed. Between that of New Efera and the attacks along the roads, and the fighting in New Vidalca, and even to some extent in the Enclave and the Fiery Hearth, there has been so much. And frankly, I just want to see it come to a close.
What if we could end it now, without anyone having to die?
Well, I would be more than happy to acquiesce to that request, but the issue is, regardless of my loss, or her loss, I should say. Oh, it's my loss. I shouldn't have. Regardless, it's in the past now. I can guarantee you, Duradine Dupree will never stop. You all have caused such grave losses for him. He will not give up.
When you say we, who are you referring to?
The 5 of you. Organics, and you, Varnast. Well, Varnast, you're on the list for personal grievances with Agatha. And Alec, Cyrus, Zamir, as I know him, and Sailor. All of them, all of you, having caused so many issues for him. And the last few times I've spoken with him, he spoke of nothing but fire and brimstone, hoping the 5 of you had died in that tomb. But, no, instead, Charles does. Not that I exactly have any pity for that self-important, pompous ass. But he was the pet of Duradine, and you killed him. At least assumed. Gnolls don't have as big of an affinity for fire as Zamir does.
That's interesting. Varnas doesn't say that. That's Ryan talking.
So
So
the
are
reason...
you saying... I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Are you saying that if we weren't there, the town would be safer?
No. In fact, it would be leveled. Not of my command, I will tell you that. But they allied with you. I mean, the amount of bloodshed that the Golden Shields have done in New Vidalca Anyone who may have had one chance encounter with you are flogged in the street, put on a stretching rack. Try and get any answers out of them on any information about you. These people all would be dead. So the reason I'm here now is because I want to avoid that. Those people, regardless of what you have done to wrong that man, regardless of what you have done against him, there are innocent people in there that I would like to see live. That's why I'm here.
Well, we did have an alternative to your demands that we've been given permission to agree with you on. Instead of an occupation, what if you and your southern forces kept All's Crossing surrounded? If it's the last fortress of the rebellion, the resistance, the revolution, whatever you want to call it, you could make sure that they can't get out, attack New Efera, New Verdalka, and the people can stay in there until some sort of an agreement is made. The problem is I feel bad for you, Ethos. I think Duradine put you in a situation where you're going to be the fall guy for whatever happens here.
I'm sorry, but could you elaborate? I don't exactly... I did everything I could do, and honor compels me to not move any further. Can't blame me for that.
Your master has no honor.
There's a popular saying where I come from. The people who survive write the history books. And eventually, people are going to come and realize what happened here in New Efera, the brutality, the taking away of literally who people are. I mean, I'm sure you heard what happened to the Governado's friend, Runemaster Emerald, haven't you? I mean, he just was following orders, wasn't he?
Yes. I mean, I didn't see it, but I heard.
So eventually when Duradine's friends from the Tarkirian Trading Company hear about the mess of this entire revolution, all the blood, all the lives, all the women, children, men that have been killed, evacuated from their homes, and then the last town of refugees gets leveled to the ground, I mean, they're going to make someone answer for that. You know it's Duradine's not going to let it be him. You think the Governado is going to fall on his own sword for this? No, I can see it now. Ethos, the great hero, wanted one last true victory of his own, and in his patriotism for his duty, went too far. That sounds pretty believable, don't you think, Morgonix? He kind of like looks over at you.
Yeah, I can just hear the town criers now.
I mean,
But that's...
people love a good story.
But I am Ethos Ambrose. I am a servant of the Queen of Tarkir. Ambrose have always been loyal and noble stewards. We have been the calm in the storm. We have been the voice of reason to those kings and queens who've been hot-headed. No. That couldn't be that way. Couldn't.
And Logan Silverfoot was a great man-in-chief who loved his people and would do anything to protect him. I'm sure people still say that about him. What's everyone else say? Fog of war, my friend. People are going to see what they want to see, and they're going to believe what they're told.
Whatever system you may have in Tarkir, the Governado is not going to honor it. He's going to set himself up. The people you are working with have no honor. And you're very far away from anyone who might. The honorable ones are in that town right now.
Okay, so I would like either Morganix or Varnast to make a persuasion check with advantage.
Organics.
Why would you say that? Why do you don't have high charisma, Varnast?
Oh,
Nervous about someone with an 11 charisma doing this on themselves? Not at all. I mean, and again, I am rolling like garbage.
It's with advantage. Shouldn't have said that. It's gonna be oh, okay.
I was about to say I have a +3 to persuasion, so granted you only beat me by 1. Oh, I'm trained in it. You're not, I guess, but still.
Rub it in.
What? You still have the higher number, even without training. That's awesome.
It's still bad rolls.
Okay.
Lucky 13. What are you talking about? 17's not bad. I mean, it might not be enough, but it's not bad.
He stares at you for a moment, Morganix, and he says,
I'm not saying yes. But if I did, what would you want me to do?
I look to Varnast.
Arrange a blockade. You and your men stay nearby in case there is any sort of uprising. We break the truce. They have enough food in there to sustain themselves, so you don't need to worry about them getting supplies or anything. And when Big Brother Tarkir eventually comes knocking, you're the hero that saved lives, both of your men and the people in there. You come out as the hero.
So, just so I'm clear, you would want me to blockade around the town, seemingly preventing them from escaping.
Or launching any attacks on New Efera or New Vardalka. Your men would be the first and hopefully only line of defense that the people need.
I need to think on this. I'll have an answer for you by the morning.
Shall we meet here at a certain time, or do you have a way to communicate with me?
There's a boy in the town. Douglas is his name. He's been giving us information over the past month or so. It wasn't my idea. That Al-Hassa woman, she is terrible. I mean, the things that I've heard she's done, I'm no stranger to war, but that is cruel, to say the least. He believes that we have his sister.
But you don't, do you?
No, she was in New Efera. She was killed in a firefight, though. The way that the sending stones work is that Douglas can communicate with myself and Alhassa at the same time, but he can only hear either myself or Alhassa. I can't hear Alhassa, and she can't hear me. They both go to him, but no cross-communication that way. I'll send a message to him in regards to my answer.
I see.
I want you to know I do not take my honor lightly. I've fought my entire life against ill repute and snakes in the grass. But
And turn your sword against Agatha.
like I said, I need the night to think about it. There's a lot of paths. But you'll have an answer by the morning, before daybreak.
Ethos, before you go, just some food for thought. And Varnast reaches up and he unties the black material that covers his neck, and he pulls it off so that the gnarly scar is like very visible now.
What is that?
This is what Agatha did when I was just a little nuisance. I wasn't even a threat to her and everything she wanted. This is how she treats her own people. Don't make the same mistake I did. Unlike me, and he ties it back on, you might not get a second chance. Let's go, Morgonix.
Kind of turns away without saying anything, goes back to his horse, unties it, and rides off northward.
Yeah, I go get my horse.
And we book it back, I assume.
Yeah, because that was probably about hour and a half there. But luckily, it's not too far away, especially on horseback. Going into a fast pace, you're able to get back to All's Crossing, definitely before sundown. Okay. So with that, as the two of you ride back, the gates open the gates, and the gates unhinge, swing open, and the two of you are able to ride in as your party members. I'm assuming with all of you hearing that the gates are opening and that they're returning, you're gonna head to the gate and see what's up.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Alrighty. So everybody heads there. Now there's like a gathering of about 45 people around, between like definitely, more important people all the way to those who are they have a vested interest in this because they don't want to die.
Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
Was what we were doing leaked out? I imagine we'd all keep that kind of close to the chest.
Yeah, but so nobody
But us
knows.
riding out, big deal.
Yeah, you riding outside after there was an army there, not but 4 or 5 hours ago. It's shaken some people. They're very, very curious as to why you left. So You all ride in, and there's a group of people beginning to amass. So all of your companions stand in front of you, all your allies. You're on horseback. Floor is yours.
I'll sort of stand in my stirrups and just kind of wave reassuringly at everyone. Everything's fine. Don't worry. We were just on a quick scout. Everything's fine.
Alec is gonna kind of like make her way to the front. And what was said?
I think that should be discussed in private.
Yeah, Varna's kind of like looking around at everyone. Like, perhaps not here.
Alec will just like turn around to see all these people.
Morganix is still kind of like fake smiling and waving. Maybe the cells. Nobody's gonna go down there.
We also needed to talk about Douglas, so let's go that way. Alec will just kind of like turn to the people. Please, everyone, return to your homes. We are handling the situation. It is safe.
Varnas gives a reassuring thumbs up to everyone.
And they all kind of give you sidelong glances and turn to look to each other, and then very slowly begin to disperse, muttering amongst the crowd, but nothing that's too discernible. It's all just mumbles and grumbles, but eventually they do disperse.
Okay.
Reluctantly.
War room?
Or do we want to go to where Douglas is?
Yeah, I mean, as long as we send the guards away, I just kind of think we should keep all of our stuff close to the chest after, recent revelations.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be good.
Okay. So, do you want any of the allies to join, or just Philip and Nahara?
Probably just those two. No need to get everyone involved yet.
Okay.
Especially since nothing was decided.
Alrighty. So you 5 gather Philip and Nahara, and you head down to the cells, passing people, and there's definitely a tension in the air as it's starting to get closer to 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The sun's beginning to set. It's not exactly all the way at twilight yet, but it's starting to get there. You maybe have an hour or two before then. So you make your way through the groups of people sort of staring at you, but letting you pass until eventually you get to the Mother's Tree, head underneath and near the jail cells. There are 2 guards standing in front of Douglas, but quickly as you all tell them to disperse, they heed your orders and they head out. So, the 5 of you plus Philip, Nahara, and then Douglas in his jail cell. You can see as you enter and the guards get pushed away, he sort of comes up to the lattice and he says, "What? So what's the word? What am I saying? Is this what you're here to talk to me about? What's going on? I need to know what I'm supposed to say."
Yeah, in a second. Okay, so here's what happened.
So he kind of backs up and he says, "Okay, all right."
Yeah, Alec will give him a very dirty look.
I will sit down next to the bars, kind of trying to be reassuring, like I'm between him and them, but
Okay, all right. He appreciates it. You can tell with the way that he's looking at you.
So here's how it went down, right? And I go into just a, quick explanation of what happened. Since it literally just happened, I don't feel the need to paraphrase.
Okay. So
I leave out the part of calling Alec's dad a war criminal, basically. I leave out that part.
Very smart.
Maybe leave out the part about Douglas's sister.
Yeah, I would also leave that out.
Drop that one in private at a less crucial moment.
I mean, he knows, but
but I will confirm it.
You really need him to
diplomatically.
perform right now, so
Yeah.
we will not drop that bomb right now.
By the way, your sister's dead, and you're on in 3, 2, 1.
But we also mentioned that he admitted that Douglas has the sending stones.
Yeah, not sure how I feel about that.
Well, the problem is now we can't use Douglas to sell this story.
Well, we still can, and see if Ethos throws us under the bus.
I mean, Ethos doesn't know that Cyrus isn't.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, but once he knows that we know that Douglas has the stones, he probably knows that we wouldn't just let... Because, like, he fully acknowledged, like, yeah, Douglas is a spy for us. Like, he knows that, like, you know, he's going to be in lock and key, so anything that he says probably shouldn't be trusted. I mean, I'm not alone in that, right? Like, that makes sense, right?
It does. I'm just annoyed at it.
Yeah.
Hey, look, that was not part of the plan. I didn't think he would confess to that. But I think that's a good thing. Because, I mean, yeah, I think we got him.
I hope so.
When the time comes, maybe one of us just gets on the stone and says, if you have questions, you can ask us ourselves.
I'm trying to remember
Oh, I like that.
Well, the problem is it goes to the other girl as well.
I know, I want it to.
Yeah, that's what she means.
I mean, that would be a power move. I just don't know how Ethos would feel about that. Since it
We won't say it's Ethos. I mean, we knew before he told us.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be lying if I said that.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, but look, well, we're getting off track for the time being. So tomorrow, Douglas is going to be informed about what Ethos is going to do. I think we have a really good chance that he's going to agree to this. I think he realizes what the people he's working for are going to do. I think my little example of what happened between me and Agatha really sold him.
The wheels are turning. I don't know which direction they'll settle in.
So we are buying time, is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Well, not really, but... I mean, the assassins are still coming in 3 days unless we get Ethos on our side and he agrees to somehow prevent that from happening, so... We just need to wait till morning and see what happens and decide what we're going to do with Douglas. I don't think having him leak information is a good idea anymore.
No, but I still like the idea of talking to her myself.
I think I'd rather keep her in the dark right now.
I'm not going to give her information.
Sorry, what are your
Maybe-
thoughts on this? You're being quiet.
Well, if the plan to use Douglas is now cocked, then I mean, honestly, I'm down with taunting her down, like speaking to Alhassa directly. I mean, she's not going to react rationally. She's not a rational tactician like Ethos is Tarkia, and he's trained. Alhassa is not a rational commander. She will act irrationally and do something stupid. I am absolutely down for taunting her.
And if she does something stupid, will that influence Ethos in the way we want?
Well, I mean, she can't do anything stupid because she's super far away right now.
We don't know that.
We do, actually, because we know that they've been delayed by probably a few days.
Our scouts don't know where they are.
And, I mean, I can't help but feel like that's a naive outlook. I mean, Ethos was aware of Douglas, but Alhassa is not really a honorable person. I mean, Ethos was aware of the one spy, and Cyrus kind of like peeks over and waves to Douglas. That doesn't mean to say that she didn't instill more than just him by herself. I mean, Douglas here may not be aware of any of other people, but that doesn't mean that's not happening.
From what it sounds like.
An assassin could already be here.
We can't operate on what ifs, though. We have to operate on the information we do know. Because otherwise we'll go insane.
But we won't have a straight answer till morning.
I think we should, at the very least, not have us use the sending stones to taunt or do anything until we hear what Ethos is going to do. After that, I think we can make a decision about that.
All right. I will also try to see if we can at least get an update on location for those in the south. And I think that we all just need to watch over our shoulder between now and the morning. So when she comes calling to him, does he not answer?
He should answer, because even if Ethos is surprised that we're letting it happen, he can't communicate with her. So having her believe that everything's going according to plan, for lack of a better expression, I think is the best idea.
Okay.
So is he saying things about Cyrus or not?
I advise that he says nothing unless asked.
Agreed.
I looked at Douglas. Is she going to ask? How is this going to work?
Well, typically, Alhassa would ask where the food stores were, if they were being moved, what the timing of the guards was like, patrolling the city, and then also patrolling the towers, keeping an eye out. And then Ethos would tend to ask about numbers. How many people were here? Was there anybody who had any experience in war? Was there any way that they were getting information that could be stopped?
So they're going to be asking questions.
Yes.
And I look to the others. And you want him to say nothing? How is this going to work?
I think for the moment, he should tell the truth with whatever he's asked, minus have you been caught, which why would they ask that? I think keeping it simple to keep her in the dark that everything is going normal is the best plan right now.
And if he is asked directly about Cyrus?
She should have no reason to do that because she wasn't even here when it happened.
That's
If she
not to
does
say
ask
they haven't
that-
sent, they could have sent messenger birds.
We've been keeping an eye on that ever since we intercepted the last ones.
They could have sent messages the way you did to Ethos.
If she asks, he will tell her that he is in a tragic state and he cannot be revived. He is not dead, but he is dying. And she's like looking at Douglas.
If that's what you want me to say, I'll say it.
If it's
That
brought
is-
up, I'm okay with that.
If it's
And-
brought up.
And that is what is true. Douglas.
Cyrus will take a big gulp of wine. It's like, as you can see, I'm doing rather terribly.
Your liver is at least.
What was that, darling?
What? About how long till sundown at this point?
Maybe half an hour.
I
Douglas.
think we should all be here for that.
Douglas.
Yeah.
You had anything to eat or drink?
They've been bringing me food every once in a while.
Beverage?
I mean, if you're offering, I was always taught it was rude to decline a drink from somebody wielding a weapon.
Wise counsel. Varnast will take his water skin off and walk over and hand it to him.
Okay.
Through bars or whatever.
Yep. He uncorks it and thank you. And he'll cork it back up, hand it through the lattice.
Back to you.
Varnes just kind of like lifts a hand. Keep it.
All right. I will.
Well, I guess we have some time to kill.
Okay.
During this time, can Alec find somebody to go double check again on any scouts or any word at all from the south?
Yeah, sure. You can send a just like somebody patrolling to go check with Thomas
Yeah.
and the Wayfinders, and they'll
Absolutely.
come back as soon as they find something out.
Cool.
Okay.
If that's the case, she will just lean up against the door and wait.
Okay. Philip and Nahara are in there too. They are definitely on the edge of their seat right now, where they are sort of biting their nails and very concerned about what's going to happen in these next few moments. So, half an hour passes, and there is a voice that emanates from the sending stone that is in Douglas's hand. You can see the stone begin to glow a very dull blue color, and the voice emanates from within. Douglas, are you there? Yes, I am. Good. Have they moved their food stores at all? No. They're still kept in the farthest north corner of the village. Good. Have the guards' patrols changed any since the last you told me? Yes. There were supplies that were brought in by the rune master from New Efera, and they in there were healing tonics, and so most of the guards who were injured or sick, or a lot of those who were injured and sick, are now willing to watch and patrol. So it's pretty much doubled. So most of the time, all throughout the day and night, there are people patrolling every inch of the city. Douglas, that makes me very sad, Douglas. You know what happens when I get sad, Douglas, don't you? Or should I get your sister and demonstrates what happens when I get sad? You can see Douglas tense.
Morgonix is looking at the others and just mouthing, "Let me at her."
No, you don't need to do that. I know that it makes you upset, and I'm sorry, but I didn't have anything I could do. I don't have any supplies or anything to make them sick or injured. If I got you some, is that something you feel like you could do? And he kind of looks at all of you with pleading eyes.
I guess.
Varnes nods.
Alec just stares at him.
Yeah, that's something I could do. Just please don't hurt my sister. Please. Very well, but I still am sad and will have to do something to make myself feel better. Bring her in. There's a moment, and Douglas sort of gripping tightly onto the stone.
I said you didn't have to do anything to her. I'll do what you want, just please don't hurt her.
I won't hurt her that much, Douglas. Unless, of course, you have something that will make me happy. Do you have something that will make me happy, Douglas?
Varnast will also point at Cyrus.
Yep, Morgonix is hopping on that train.
Alec will stare him down.
Cyrus is dead. He's dying, at
Bro,
least.
bro!
He was in a duel and he is getting close to death.
Oh no! What does that do?
That seems about right.
That's just it. I mean, I've expended the sorcery points, but it's just, yeah. He got a bonus 1.
I'm gonna hold out my hand for the sending stone.
No!
Okay, so he says that, and there's a brief pause.
Douglas. That doesn't make me happy. I thought that you were reliable. I thought you cared about your sister. Next time, Douglas, tell the truth. Or maybe, just maybe, I won't stop with your sister. Maybe I could find my way to Wildberg. I'm sure there are some family members there who might, well, aid in honesty.
I'm still holding my hand out for the sending stone.
He looks to all of you again. Mouthing the words, "What do I do?"
I'm just waving my hand at him through the bars, like, trying to get him to give it to me.
I'd be nodding at Morganix. I don't know what the others are doing, but I'd be nodding at Morganix.
Oh, God.
This is a good idea.
Alec is still just staring at him, but now she's angrier.
And he opens his mouth to say something else. And before he can speak, she says,
Douglas. Oh, look who it is.
and you hear a voice similar to Douglas, just a little bit higher pitched, say, Now, what are all of you doing? Stop. Listen, I don't know where he is. I've told you time and time again, I don't know. And you can see Douglas, his brow just furrow.
Elizabeth, is that you? Springgrass, you there?
Douglas, I'm here. It's okay. Now, what are they? Wait, what's that? What are you doing with that dagger? What are you? And you can see him just clutching the stone, and he just takes a moment, and he is going to slowly walk over towards you, Morganix, and he is going to set the sending stone down in your hand, and he's just going to take his hands and cover his ears and fall down onto the ground, just gritting his teeth and sort of digging his hands into his ears as much as he can to stop the noise.
I am going to cast Minor Illusion to make my voice sound like his.
Okay.
And I'm going to channel everything I've been feeling for the past however long and burst into tears.
Okay.
I'm not lying. I'm not lying. You can ask Ethos. She didn't have a name. She had a number. And there was a duel, and things got real weird after. No one will be let in to see him. We don't know if he's alive or dead.
I cast guidance on Morganix.
Okay, go ahead and make a deception check.
Add a
I'm
D4.
proficient in that.
Add a D4. Roll better than Jamie. No offense.
Okay.
Yes!
Okay.
Add a D4.
Add that D4. Add that D4. It matters.
Hell yeah!
Okay. The screaming stops. Her voice returns. So, 14 arrived then.
She blew up. Still sobbing, just ugly crying.
Grew up.
So, she's dead then. What a disappointment. But Cyrus, you said he was dying?
I don't know. Everybody's saying something different, but everyone's real scared he is. And they keep trying to find a way to work the stone things, and they won't. They're whispering that the weave did something to him.
Well, if he is not dead now, I'll make sure to send someone else to make sure the job gets finished.
Please don't hurt my sister. I'll do whatever you want.
You will? Anything?
Yes.
Good. These companions, the ones who arrived in town through the portal, you said, they have been a thorn in my employer's side for quite a while. And I would like to end this as soon as possible. So here is what you are going to do, Douglas. In an effort to prove your loyalty, to save your sister's life, earn your freedom and hers, I'm going to send 6 assassins with 7 daggers. That 7th dagger will be for you. You said that Cyrus is the weakest. He will be the one you kill. They'll arrive tomorrow night at the south gate. Be sure that you let them in. You tell them where the rooms are, and we end this now. If not, Douglas, not only will your sister die, not only will your family die, but anyone that you have ever had any relationship with, anyone you have ever considered a friend, I will personally find, and I will make sure to flay them. Each one, so you can see. And then finally, I will painstakingly remove every nail from your hand and feet. I will remove your eyeball, one at a time.
I will feed them to my hounds, and then finally I will remove every muscle from your body until you are nothing but a mess of pulp and skin. Then you will be burned for the entertainment of my soldiers. Every moment being kept alive for the entertainment of me and my own. Do I make myself crystal clear, Douglas?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Good.
I will see it done, or I will die trying.
Exactly. Do not disappoint me again, Douglas. Do not lie to me again. And when Ethos asks you his questions, you will show him honesty. Or you will die.
The stone dims in color as the connection severed.
I look at the others.
Varnest has a huge smile on his face.
Really?
Oh yeah, that went very well.
Oh, nice woman.
Well, I mean, Ethos heard that, and he's in the middle of a very big decision, so...
Oh. Morganic's face suddenly lightens at that.
No. Ethos explained to you how it worked. He can't hear anything Alhassa says.
Oh.
He can only
Oh, I
communicate.
I thought when Douglas talked into it, like, they both heard what he was saying.
Oh, yes, you're right. Sorry, I thought that... Okay, my bad. I thought you were saying... So he could hear what Douglas was saying, but he couldn't hear Alhassa.
Yeah, but I mean, I think he got enough from Douglas's, like, cries and, like, please don't hurt my sister, to where it was like, like, obviously that didn't go very well.
And to be fair, Ethos does not know if Cyrus is alive or not.
That's
like,
true.
he saw the state I was in after the fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's true. So regardless, I think that went very well for us. Plus we know we have company tomorrow night.
Guys,
Sooner-
I think we're gonna have
sooner
to
than
fake
expected.
Douglas's death.
What? Why?
Would it not be easier to fake our own? Because if Ethos agrees to a stalemate, the city is safe, and I hesitate to use that word, but safe for the time being. And if these assassins think we're dead, then what left is there?
Well, I mean, we're not going to be able to fake our own deaths.
No. And if
I
they
mean-
think we're dead, they're just gonna roll over this place.
I think
But
we need to hear what Ethos has to say, because he doesn't know that she's doing something like this. If he agrees to create a stalemate, then he might be able to do something to interfere. But that'll be a conversation for him tomorrow. Like we said, we need to figure out what he's going to do before we even theorize about what the next step is.
True.
For now, I think it's time we all get some rest. It's been a long day.
Okay.
Unless someone has a different opinion.
No, I concur. I think we need to hear from Ethos.
Yeah.
So as all of you are standing there discussing, the sending stone relights.
Oh, right. He was still going to contact us tonight. I totally forgot about that. Whoops.
Sending stone is glowing. And you hear a voice.
Douglas, are you there?
Cast minor illusion again. Yes.
You don't deserve this. And I'm sorry that we ever put you in a position like this. You were just a stable boy. And I let delusions of grandeur get the better of me. I lost sight of my honor, and I apologize to you for that. I heard what she said to you. Or I heard how you reacted. You don't deserve that. You deserve better, my boy. It's time I make this right. I need you to find the cleric, Varnast, and the, I believe she's a librarian, but she wields Morganics. I'm sure that you know them. I need you to find the two of them and any of the other of their group if you can.
Okay.
We're going to come clean, Douglas. But don't be afraid. They seem like they are genuine. And I believe they actually want... They want to do what is honorable. And I believe they're right.
What about her?
If I have it my way, I will meet her in battle myself. Give me no greater honor than to cut the head off that vile woman. Douglas, the next time I see you, there's things that we have to talk about. Don't worry too much now, but it's important you know the truth.
You can see Douglas, the real Douglas, sort of peek up. Truth about what?
As I said, we can talk about it when you see me next. It's best to do it in person. Find them and let them know that me and my troops, as many as will come, will be there in the morning. I will fight for them, and I will do what is honorable.
The stone fades. As all of you look to one another with the news that you just received, Douglas looks to all of you with this confused look on his face, saying, What truth? What? And as all of you, as Morganix and Varnas, the only two who know the truth, look to one another and look back to him, that is where we are going to take our break, and we will come back to that in 5 minutes. So thank you so much if you've been watching thus far. I hope you've been enjoying. Thank you, Chivalry Penguin, for the follow. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you have enjoyed. I sure have. So we will be back in 5. We're going to take a quick restroom drink break. I recommend you do the same, but we will be back in 5 minutes. So thank you so much, and BRB. everyone,
sorry.
and hello! Welcome, we are back. Wait a second, why didn't it do the transition? That's kind of lame. Let's edit that bad boy. Cut. Stinger. I'm sorry. I'm so
Thank God we're not live.
sorry.
We'll just
Oh.
edit it in post.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Where the heck is my... Here we go. Listen, this is unnecessary, but I'm gonna do it. I have
Is
to.
it the fire?
Yeah, the fire didn't happen. It just cut. So stupid.
Joe, you have a problem.
I know I do. Here we go. Mute. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh gosh. Okay.
How much is it worth it, Joe?
Well, just that way I don't forget. And there we go. All right. Flame is back on. Flame on. All right. There we go. We're good. So, the transition is fixed, and I think that we're hunky-dory. I think we're good to go, ladies and gents. So, no need for delay. Let's just jump back in. So picking up where we left off, two of you had a meeting with Ethos Ambrose in an effort to plea and strike a deal, almost. Play to his honor and try and encourage him that he wasn't doing the honorable thing. That the honorable thing would be to aid you. The people who, for all intents and purposes, and I feel like most morally good people can agree that all of you are doing the morally right thing. So playing to his honor, saying that this is the honorable thing, and he told you he would give you a response in the morning. You head back to town, you discuss, you decide what to do, and you eventually have the interaction with Douglas and Alhassa, who is just from the brief interaction, you can gather that she is a very, very cruel woman, willing to do anything to anyone if it means her success. So, you all have that interaction, and Douglas almost keeps his cool for the entire time, but then slips up, makes a mistake, and eventually the stone is transferred to Morganix, where she minor illusions with a successful deception check. Alhassa is none the wiser, and you all discover, well, just how cruel she is, her threats, her everything, and you would learn that she's sending 6 assassins plus Douglas to finish not just the party, but Philip and Nahara off. So, you discover that, and then shortly after the Sending Stone conversation is concluded, it relights, and Ethos tells Douglas to find all of you, explain what's been happening, and saying that he will fight for you. So, with that having just heard, he said he would be there in the morning, all of you just sort of looking to Douglas as Douglas looks back to all of you, and he says, did he tell you what he needs to tell me? What is he going to tell me?
Yeah.
Varnash just shrugs his shoulders.
Douglas, I asked about your sister.
We're doing this now.
It's cruel to make him sit on it.
Cool to make me sit on what? What's happening?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Your sister is dead. She was killed in a firefight.
She was what?
Ethos says she was killed.
Killed where? Killed where?
In New Efera. She did make it there.
She's dead.
I'm so sorry.
She made it out of the colorful cauldron, out of that terrible woman, only to catch a stray gunshot.
I'm gonna reach through the bars and offer my hand.
I'd like you to make a persuasion check.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Would you really? Aren't we past this?
It's a big bomb. He doesn't bat your hand away, he just scoots back.
I'll withdraw it.
Douglas, you are very entitled to your grief. Today we grieve for your sister, but tomorrow you fight for her, and you do right by her, and you make her proud. You have wronged a lot of people, and she would want you to make up for that. But you can make this right.
She never wanted me to leave. She told me to stay home, and I should have stayed home. I shouldn't have come here.
But Douglas, you can't change what has already been done. Now you must move forward. She would want you to move forward. You have done a very good thing here. You've helped us after you've wronged us. And she would be very proud of that.
I thank you for your words, but have you ever lost someone to senseless violence like this? She was the only person in my life that ever cared about me. Ever. No one else. Not our parents, not our grandparents. I never had any friends. She was the only person who was there for me. And now she's gone.
Douglas, I've lost my entire people. My friends, my family. I have no one but the people that are around me right now. I do know how that feels. And it hurts. And you will cry, and there will be days where you wish that you do not walk this earth any longer, but you move forward. There are good people here. Believe it or not, there are good people here. And they will care for you just as hard as you care for them. And maybe they will love you as much as you can love them. Grieve. Sit in sadness. But you can't stay there forever. Is that what she would want from you?
Alec, I'd like you to make a wisdom check with advantage.
Okay.
So in place of persuasion. Okay. I'm sorry, Alec. It was insensitive of me to say that. I know how much you've lost, how much your people have lost, and I'm sorry.
Douglas, don't apologize to me. You are sad. You are grieving. And you are angry. And that is okay. But you will do something with that anger and that sadness.
Okay. Okay.
Alec will look to Morganix.
I nod. I'm very sorry, Douglas.
It's not your fault. It's no one's fault.
Not yours either. It's
Thank
their fault, and we're gonna make them pay.
I know. Just, could I please be left alone?
Okay. If you need any of us back, just ask the guards to come get us.
Okay. Thank
And
you.
I'm definitely taking the sending stone with me.
Okay. All right. He gives it up freely. He does not try and take it back at all. There's no argument there. Okay. So you can see him just huddle up back into the corner and just begin to very silently weep.
Yeah, Alec will absolutely head out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alrighty. So the group of you
I
head
had
out.
to tell him it was cruel to make him wait till morning.
I think you did the right thing.
You did good.
Thank you.
As you're walking out, Nahala also says to you, Alec, you are wise beyond your years, Alec. And gives you a pat on the shoulder.
She will just kind of nod. Keep forward and outside. I assume it's a little bit later in the evening now as we're moving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely past sunset, so much so that as you step out into the town, the sun is just finishing setting, where pretty much there's just streaks of pink and red and orange against a darkening deep blue navy sky.
Shall I message Ethos or wait till morning?
I think you could go ahead. Tell him Douglas found us.
Very well.
If you have the spell.
I will cast the spell to Ethos once again.
Okay.
Douglas came and found us. He told us everything. Sounds like you're ready to do the right thing. When and where shall we meet?
One word left.
Bro.
Good use.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. It's a West Salamander thing.
Couldn't be me.
The ahem doesn't count as a word.
I will be there in the morning with 450 men. 50 or so decided to leave. The rest will fight with us. For honor.
Nope, you're out.
For honor! Varnas just kind of smiles.
Morganix takes a deep breath. Oh wait, she didn't hear that. Never mind.
No, she did not. But she will now.
She was
Ethos
just
will be-
reading your facial expression.
Ethos and 450 of his troops will be coming to defend the city tomorrow.
That's
Well,
great.
this calls for wine, and I intend for you to drink this wine, Varnast.
I'm more of a mead person, but I will take you up on it.
Philip chimes in. Now here we go. This is great. You know what, Cyrus? No more of that watered down stuff. I've been waiting for a great moment for it, and this seems like the moment. I have got some vintage Thorolian that I think will. I think it's gonna knock your boots off. Whoa!
The moment he says he's been hiding good wine, Cyrus does that like John Travolta gif.
I love how we all immediately know which one you're referring to. Look around, hands up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a celebrate victory, not a loathe and despair type of wine. Well, come on, what are we waiting for? Yes. So, the group
Cyrus
of you
runs down the stairs like an actual child on Christmas.
Okay, so all of you make your way back into the inn, and you can see that there is a glum attitude in the inn that is got very sharp contrast with the energy that all of you are entering in, where most people are just sort of looking sideways glances and muttering, why are they so happy? What's going on? What's going on? And Philip brings out the cask, and you can see that it's maybe about as wide as his shoulder. He kind of heaves it up onto the table. Alrighty, well, and Cyrus, I'm assuming you're first. Wine all around. No need to pay, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight is a night for celebration.
Yes.
Yes, all right. And he cracks it open, sets the spit in, and pours you one mug of wine, hands it off, and people begin to line up one after the other, getting the wine, drinking it. And Cyrus, it's it is very, very, very fruity. These different, it is somewhere in between like raspberry and blueberry, and it's something you've never had before, where it is like sweet and tart, but it is just like in the middle. And it's so hard to pin, but it is entirely sweet. There's no like earthy.
Go on as wine reviews.
Hey. There's nothing earthy or hearty about it. It is the froofiest of froofy wine, where it is practically fruit juice.
Nice.
Okay, so it's beginning to be doled out to all of the people who are here. And people begin to... They're not exactly sure why they're celebrating, but, they're not exactly against drinking a little bit. And conversation from this very quiet tavern begins to pick up as more people come in with the notion of free wine, until the tavern is just about packed. People drinking wine, people talking, and a seeming sense of relief in the area all around you guys. So... what's everyone doing?
I feel like Cyrus probably would have at least originally been kind of like checking people out in case anyone looked a bit dodgy, because, assassins on the way. But the more drunk he gets, he's not going to give a shit.
Okay.
So he'd be literally trying to gamble and drink with whoever is willing to.
Okay, alrighty.
I think at this point, Alec would have at least, told the people, what's happening, so they're not why are they so hype? And, just, I think she would, discuss it with Nahara and make sure that, actual people going into battle understand what's happening.
So no one just attacks at those troops when they show up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you say that to Nahara, and she says, yes, I believe that is a good idea. Well, Alec, I think it's best if you tell them.
She just kind of blinks a few times. Okay. She'll just awkwardly climb on top of a table.
Cyrus is playing dice with Solapier on the table.
Oh yes, that table.
What are you doing?
One.
Why are you... Cyrus, we can move to a different table.
And,
There's a frown as he has to move.
does she do the theater teacher claps to get everyone's attention? I guess she'll just like whistle.
Okay, give out a very, very, very powerful whistle because
I'm glad because I can't fucking whistle.
yeah.
Thank
So
you.
you let out a very high pitched whistle because that's what it sounds like, and people sort of stop talking, and they all kind of look to you.
Friends, this is a night of celebration. We have successfully, very successfully, managed to persuade Ethos and his troops to side with us, rather than against us. We have gained allies tonight. Our forces are nearly doubled. We grow stronger and we grow as one. And we turn to Margonix and Varnast and thanks. And I'm proud to say that I am for once in a very long time happy that I can say I look to the future in a positive light. We are strong, but now we grow even stronger. I cannot wait to shed my blood in battle for all of you. We will be victorious, and whatever comes, we will face it together. So tonight, yes, drink and feast and enjoy what we have here, and know that tomorrow we go into battle. If we go into battle, we grow in strength and in numbers. And she kind of looks to Nahara and then looks back to everybody else. And she'll just do like the whole fist to chest thing.
So as you do, there's a brief moment of silence as they all look up to you, and there are just smiles plastered on their faces. And Nahara breaks the silence, and she raises up a mug, and she says, "To the warden in the north, and to the wardens of Efera, protectors of the people, and protectors of what is right." And all of the other people raise up their mugs. "The wardens of Efera, to the wardens of Efera!" And they start cheering, looking to, granted, Cyrus, you are neck deep in some dice right now, but there are people who are like bumping into you and "the wardens of Efera!" and sort of sloshing some of their ale on you. But they're all looking to the five
Oh
of
my
you.
god, this is a mood. Cyrus is loving that.
Chanting and cheering for you. And eventually, they begin to return to their chattering, but you can see that all of them, every time that they sort of catch a glance at you, they give you a small toast and go back to talking and drinking. There is this revered sense of respect among the 50, 100 people in this room right now for all of you. So, Alec, you step down, and as you go about your business, it seems like every 5 or every 5 or 10 feet, there's somebody who pats you on the shoulder, or somebody who is a native of Efera. They meet you with the traditional fist to the chest and bow, depending on the person. But there is nothing but respect for the 5 of you in this tavern right now.
I will find of natives who would love to share a bowl tonight.
Yes, share in the traditional pitus of the people of Efera, and with that, as you sort of gather some people around, it seems as though the mood picks up, and for the first time, probably in forever. In your time in New Efera, there is laughter, happiness, and some jaunty tavern music that's currently being played as all of you sit and drink, and Alec and other natives, and Alec, there are some non-natives, some colonists who would like to partake if you'd allow them. What's that? Oh, what?
I said yes, they can.
Okay, all right, sounds good. So they join in, and they have a good time. So does anybody else have any other things they'd like to do on this night of joyous festivities and celebration?
Morgonix is probably not celebrating much. Still very somber, but she won't be a mood killer. She'll find somewhere.
Okay.
Just kind of sit in the corner and not bug anybody.
Sayla is right there with you.
That checks out. Sayla won't make me talk.
Yeah.
You guys just give each other the nod, and like that's it.
Cyrus will, in the middle of being shit-faced, blackout drunk, stand up and say, I guarantee I can call the next card I pull from this deck of cards, or this tavern decides a tattoo on my body.
It's gonna be an ace, isn't it? Tavarn just asked very casually after it fell out of your sleeve the other day. He just stares at you as he waits for a response.
Literally, he turns to Varnast, and a bunch of cards fall out of his sleeve.
Are they aces?
No, that was my backup deck. And like flicks one of the hands and like creates a puff of smoke and goes, "It's magic, darling."
Oh my god.
Wait. As Sir Lapierre, he's definitely he's pretty far gone too, and he says, no, wait. It is not fair if you do it with magic, then it all defeats the whole point. Of course you can pull and summon whatever card you want. If anything, you should be a true magic man about it and just use the sleight of hand, yeah?
Yes, I'm very talented in sleight of hand, and knocks over a glass.
Alright, I will take that bet. And the loser, I know. Must get a tattoo of the emblem of the golden shields on their arm, eh?
Oh shit!
I'm not playing.
I am down.
Alright, so Magic Man, do your best. I bet you will mess up just like you did in that magic duel, throwing yourself in with a woman who was a kamikaze, eh?
I'll have you know, I am sitting here now, and I have merely a bump to the head and a glass to fill. And kind of like fumbly pulls out a deck of cards, and he can like barely even like keep them together and goes, "Somebody shuffle!"
Yeah, we'll shuffle the cards, give them to me. And he takes them, and you can tell that his fingers are also all fumbly, and he's trying to shuffle. Half the cards go flying off onto the table. He says, no, I meant to do that on purpose. It was on purpose. And he scoops them off the table, and he kind of just, oh, wait, give me a second. And he just counts out like 1, 2, 3, into about 6 different piles. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and he sort of mushes them back together. There you go, they are shuffled. He puts them back in your hand. Want you to know that Sir Lapierre is renowned around Turkey and the world for his hawk-like eyes. So when you spin all those cards around, you best do it delicately. Eh?
Oh, you have my word. You have seen my honorable self.
Your honorable what?
Me, you're looking at it. I am honorable.
As honorable as Lord Athos Ambrose Leloir is. Let's shuffle the cards. Let's do this. If I'm getting a tattoo tonight, I would like to know sooner rather than later.
Fuck it. I will pull yours truly, the Queen of Diamonds.
Queen, you are my friend.
And I will attempt to use Sleight of Hand.
Okay, make a sleight of hand check with disadvantage.
Oh boy. Okay, not great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you begin to shuffle, and you cut the deck a few times, and then you go to pull, and you can see as you're shuffling, you see the Queen of Diamonds, and you try and like flick it up with your pinky and move it around so it's at the front of the deck, but you end up smacking half the deck out of your hand. And Lapierre, he's gonna make a perception check with disadvantage. Okay. So he says, what are you doing? Why do you drop the cards? I thought you said you were good at these tricks with sleight of hand. That's what it is.
I am. That is my card. I dropped it right here. You can see I pulled it from the deck.
Make a deception check.
Is that normal, disadvantage, advantage?
We'll do normal. It's preposterous, but you're only trying to lie to him.
Hey.
All right.
Jeez.
Oh, I didn't realize we were playing this type of guessing game. You throw the cards on the floor and then you pick up the correct one. Oh, yes. Oh, that is...
And like as he says that, Cyrus will slam the table and go, "Snap!"
What?
I got my card. Snap! And he'll put his mug down. I got my card.
Oh my.
You got your what?
My card. I got it. It's in this. I got it here.
And he'll like rummage through the pile and say,
See, natural.
Yes, you are natural at looking like an idiot.
I'm a charming idiot, I'll have you know.
Charming indeed, Mr. Queen of Diamonds.
So Cyrus, you fumbling. Are you trying to find the Queen of Diamonds, or are you scooping the cards back up to try
Yeah.
again? Okay, all right.
No, I'm like kind of like shuffling it to the side just to kind of get like a glimpse of a corner and be like, "See?"
So you do find it, and you do pull it out. I'd like you to make one last deception check to see if he buys your shtick.
Oh my god.
I'm a good liar.
Well,
Yeah,
all
you
right,
are.
I believe you. You have won. I will get this tattoo of the golden shield. Let's see. Who is there a tattoo artist here? A tattoo artist, anyone? Tattoos?
And there's one burly half-orc woman who says,
I've been known to do a tattoo or two in my life.
and he kind of looks at her, and looks to you, and looks back to her.
Oh no! I must admit, as funny as the golden shields would be, I am willing to be my jaunty self. I am prepared for you to get Zamir on your arm, and I will get Lapierre on mine.
Oh, you flatter me, Zamir. Well, if this is what you wish, then who am I to disagree with the Warden of Efera?
At that point, like Cyrus like full on pisses himself having it. I am the warden.
Yes, you are the Warden indeed.
The half-orc woman kind of looks to the two of you, or to the two, and begins to just kind of move over and sort of sits down at the table.
So, are we doing these tattoos or not?
Well, if Zamir is up to it, I don't see why not,
Of course we're doing this tattoo. What do you take me for? Have some wine. Join us.
Are you offering her wine?
Yeah.
She goes, if you want me to tattoo, I'll drink after, but I think I should stay sober for now, unless you want to end up with,
Shh. And he goes like pour a cup near her face.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
This is not what I expected from this session. Wow. Still not terrible.
All right. You have a way with words, and stop pouring that on me. All right, I'll have a few sips. And a few sips turns into a few mugs, until eventually, in the tavern together, you and LaPierre getting each other's names tattooed on your shoulders. And you can see LaPierre still wearing like his breastplate, and he has to like take it off, and then he takes off his tabard until he's just shirtless, with just pants and boots on. And she does indeed tattoo a name on you and LaPierre's on your shoulders, but you'll have to wake up in the morning to see what that is. At least to you right now, it looks like LaPierre, and he's pretty happy with his tattoo. Alrighty. Anything else?
No, I think like Cyrus would probably like pass out like face first into this table, like not long after this.
Okay, all right. So Cyrus, you eventually pass out, and LaPierre passes out on the table with you. The Tarkarian man can definitely hold his liquor to the same capacity you are. So you do. So anybody else doing anything, or is that the only bit of ridiculousness that's happening in the tavern this evening?
Well, it's not going to be ridiculousness, but I have something that I'd want to do.
Okay, all right. That is also okay.
So Varnes has probably had like 2 or 3 glasses to like participate, but he's not getting like anywhere near like slammed or buzzed because obviously there's still work to do in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna try to see if he can find Nahala and kind of catch her attention at some point.
Okay. Yeah, she's also participating to the same degree you are, just politely. But being one of the 2 village or 2 town leaders, she feels as though she has to maintain an air of decorum, since her husband is not. He is
valid.
Right around Cyrus and LaPierre, just screaming and laughing at what they're doing, getting a huge kick out of the ridiculousness that's happening over there. But you find her sitting near the bar, slowly sipping away at a mug, and you head over to her. She smiles as you approach.
Can I borrow you for a time?
Well, of course. Anything you need, Varnest.
Let's go talk somewhere private, if we may.
Of course. Would you wish to head to the Mother's Tree for extreme privacy, or?
Yeah, that'd be best, I believe.
Very well. I could use some fresh air, to be sure. I would also recommend that when we get back, maybe your friend there, Cyrus, will probably be unconscious. You might want to have him sleep in a bed before Ethos arrives in the morning.
Yeah, I'll take care of that. He'll be fine. He handles it much better than he looks, I think.
Well, hopefully he handles it better than my husband.
She smiles, and the 2 of you head out. And as you're walking to the Mother's Tree, she says,
Varnest, I would like to thank you for what you have done for my people. I can tell that you are a
devout follower of Istitia. I can feel the blessing that you carry with you. It floats around your head like waves crashing on a shore.
You honor me. I'm just, like everyone else, I think I'm just trying to figure out what the right thing to do is, and today it just happened to work better than usual.
Yes. Well, you made the right calls. And at about that point, you make your way to the opposite end of the village, and you make your way down the wooden, earthy cobblestone steps that lead into the basin of the Mother's Tree. The small stone platform surrounded by water on each side with different glowing globules of light that are cascading down from the tree branches. And she sort of gestures her hands and says, well, what did you wish to speak about?
Before I begin, sorry, I don't know what happened there. Before I begin, just know that whatever I say, I mean it with no disrespect.
Of course.
I would ask that you would give Alex some more space.
Very well. But if you don't mind me asking, why?
You keep propping her up and setting her up like she's this great hero and leader of her people, and she is a hero. I don't mean to take that away at all, but in terms of leadership and accountability and trying to make the right decisions, I don't know if that's a responsibility that she wants. At the very least, not yet. And I don't want her to be so worried about letting everyone down because she's feeling pressure from her own people that she has to step up into something she's not ready for.
I understand what you mean, Varnest. And part of me wishes that I could relax and that I could withdraw my advances. But there are certain things that I cannot let go, that I cannot move back on. Alec will need to know one day. She will need to take her place. That is not something she can avoid. If she does not take it, the culture and life of the Koa people are lost forever. She cares for her people, she does. As do I. I have lost my people already. We are but a fractured faction of what we once were, not but 15, 20 years ago. Her people still live. They are fractured. They are separated, but she has the ability to bring them together. Her father saw that in her. Her grandmother saw that in her. The only one who doesn't is her.
The world is changing very quickly. The longer that she takes to come to this realization, the more of her people that are lost.
I understand where you're coming from. Alec is put into a position that I do not envy her for. And he looks at Nahala and just kind of stares at her for a moment. Logan Silverfoot is dead.
Well, then it is too late. The Koa people are lost. With no rite performed at the World Tree. No last honors, no funeral procession, honoring his spirit, carrying him to the ancestral jungle. They will never see her as a true chief. If the ancient rites were not carried out, then it's over.
It's not over yet.
Varnast, you are smart and you are brave and you are willing to do whatever it takes, but you are a follower of Asticia and Arcadia, yes, but you are not a follower of our ways with them. These are traditions that have been honored for thousands of years. The slightest deviation is cause for banishment, for excommunication. If what you say is true, and there was not a passage of rites done before the mother and the father and the flame and the wind, then there is no hope. 2 tribes of 4 remain. Half our people gone. I am happy that Ethos fights for us, and I am happy that you are here to fight with us, but... And I mean no disrespect with this Varnast. But I wish that you and your kind had never found your way here. It has done nothing but grief and bloodshed for our people. Thank you
When
for
we
being
went-
honest.
Go ahead.
Thank you for being honest, and thank you for telling me this, but I hope for the sake of my people, what is left of them, and what is left of Alec's people, that he is not dead.
When we went and were gone for 3 months, found a temple to Asticia. We spoke with Baralo, Baramichi, as he's also known.
I know of Baralo, and I know of Baramichi. You spoke to him.
Yes. Like you, he acknowledged our situation was dire. But even after everything he went through and endured, he still has faith. I don't know the entirety of your ways or your people, but I've always believed in Alec. So does he. Whatever he's doing for her, I believe it's going to work out the best it can. And maybe to some people that won't be good enough. But damn them. That girl holds more weight on her shoulders than anyone I've ever seen. I've seen men buckle under less. Men who couldn't forgive themselves for the mistakes they made. People like Douglas who, after personal loss, believe that the world is doomed and there is nothing left. You may believe as you wish. And despite my trying to protect Alec, I still believe in her. And I will follow her to wherever this path may lead. And whatever that outcome is, I will help her see it through at whatever cost.
Well then, Varanast. These words bring me little comfort. And I do not mean that as an insult. Sometimes finding the proper words is difficult for me, as I'm sure it is for Alec, but if you really mean those things, perhaps you should not be telling me. Perhaps you should be telling her. Alec does not walk around this village like a woman who knows her father may be dead. The longer you keep that from her, if she ever learns that you held that from her, the more damage it will do. My grandmother held my father's death from me for 15 years. She let me believe he was fighting, off doing what was right, while we ran and ran and ran and ran. "5 years ago, she told me. I had only started to forgive her when she left us. If she is a true companion and a true friend, if she is your family, do what is right, Varnast. Death is painful. Yes, learning the ones that you love and care about, learning that they've passed on, hurts. But what hurts more is knowing the people closest to you lied to you or withheld information from you. I will not judge you for what you decide to do, Varnast. But I know what I would do, because I know how I felt. I will not take away this truth from you. It is yours to give, not mine.
but I hope you decide to do what is right.
May I ask a favor of you then?
Of course, anything.
And he's kind of struggling to say the words, like his lips kind of like quivering a little bit, but he's trying to stay composed. Would you let her know I'm here and I need to talk to her?
You can see her spine straighten a little bit, and she tenses a little bit. I will do this for you. She puts her fist to her heart, gives a slight bow, and heads out of the room, leaving you there, alone, comforted by the crashing of waves around you, seemingly having picked up a little bit of speed and intensity. The crashing wave of Stygia, letting you know she's there. But as you sit and wait, Alec, as you are outside, taking in the air, taking part in your pitus, enjoying the company around you, Nahala approaches, and she taps you on the shoulder. Alec.
Oh, Nahara. Hi. Why don't you join us?
I would love to partake, but there is something that Varnas needs to speak to you about in the Mother's Temple.
Oh, okay. Alright. I just kind of like blinks a few times. Why not here?
As followers of the faith, he thought it'd be best to talk in a place that is safe.
She just kind of like nods.
Before you go, Alec, I don't use this very often, but sort of looking at your bloodshot eyes, it was something that I learned a long time ago. And she is going to put both of her palms on your ears and softly touch the back of your head. And she's going to pretty much expend 5 points of lay on hands.
Aw, rude. Okay.
Sort of kill your buzz.
She's a paladin. That's awesome.
Well, maybe not. Because there's another class that their subclass gets lay on hands, and it is not a paladin.
Oh shoot.
But
I'll be quiet.
she lets go, and you feel yourself kind of where before you were floating, you were now heavily grounded. Your consciousness sort of comes back to you, and she says, sometimes it is best to approach certain things with a clear mind, as to not be clouded by distractions.
I thought she kind of just narrows her eyes at you a little bit. All right. I'll go. I guess. And she'll just kind of, very confused, start walking that way.
Okay, alrighty. So Alec, you start walking that way, and after about 10 minutes of waiting, Varnast, Alec begins to step down into the basin of the Mother's Temple. Surrounded by the water, Alec, you can hear the waves crashing on the sides, but as soon as you enter, they settle. And there is just a brief mist that fills the air, comforting and warm, like the hug of a relative that you haven't seen in a long time. So Varnast, she stands there in front of you, and Alec, you see Varnast.
Is there a problem? Are the South arrived? Shouldn't we have everyone for this conversation?
No. Just the two of us.
Um. All right. I'm not familiar with your ways of things. Did I? She's just like looking around. Now it's her turn to do the Pulp Fiction meme.
Have I told you about my family?
Very little.
My I was the only child between my mother and my father. He passed away when I was very young. He wasn't a fighter by any means, although, and he kind of pulls out his killage. This was his blade, but he never really used it. There was when I was young, to the point where I don't remember it at all, there was a fishing hamlet near the village that we lived in that was coming under attack. Our village was requested for aid to help evacuate the people and their belongings before the attack came. My father was among the volunteers to go. My mother stayed behind with me. He went with the rest of the volunteers, and there they gathered up what people and what wagons they could, and they traveled with whatever they could, but they had a scout return to them and let them know that the path that they had taken was blocked off by the enemy, and if they went back, it was going to be a battle. And there were many civilians that couldn't even lift a stick properly. So, having to think quickly before they were pincered, they decided to cut across a nearby frozen river. The problem was that it was too deep for the wagons to cross without them getting stuck. And while certainly some of the men could wade across, a lot of the women and the children they were afraid would be lost in the current. So they asked for volunteers to carry those who couldn't across the river. My father was one of those volunteers. He got 8 people across. He kept going back for them.
Well, it sounds as though your father was a great man. You should be proud. I should be proud to be his son and carry his name.
I am.
He did a good thing. He saved many lives.
I hated that story when I was younger. When I was a selfish and fool boy, as we all are when we're young. So many people told me that story, how I was starting to look like him, and they thanked me for what my family sacrificed so that they could live. And I was never rude or anything, but I hated that story because as a child I felt like he chose them over my mother and I. Thankfully, with age comes wisdom. You start to see the world differently. He carried the people across that wouldn't have been able to do it on their own. And once I did come to admire my father, I wanted to be like him. I wanted to carry burdens on my shoulders for others. Despite how much it hurt me, I wanted to protect those that are around me. The people that I care about.
Varnus, I'm not sure why you're telling me this. I thought we've made amends, I think is the word. I don't think you're a monster. I don't think you're a bad person. I think you've done everything you can for my people and myself and Organics and Sayla and Cyrus. I thank you many times over for everything you've done. And these people, you see how they regarded you tonight. There's no burden you have to carry. In battle, I watch your back and you watch mine. And I thank you for that. I am grateful.
Your words are too kind. I tell you this in this story because regardless of what you're going to feel from me moving forward till the end of time, if that's how long you hold on to it, which is your choice, I just hope you believe me when I say I was trying to do what I thought would be best.
I think I am still confused.
And he kind of finally looks at you fully. Logan Silverfoot is dead.
How you have no way of knowing that?
I do,
Why
actually.
Why would you say that to me?
You know how... Go ahead.
And how exactly would you know that?
You know how I communicated to Ethos through magic?
She's just staring at you now.
I tried contacting your father to see if he had troops nearby, if there was any information he could provide. He didn't answer.
And so you just assume he's dead because he didn't answer? I thought that's not how that works. Can't he just not... He just chose not to say anything. Right? That's how it works. He can to say anything.
He could.
Then that's what he did. He chose not to speak to you.
Alec. There's been a war going on for 3 months. He had no idea where any of us were, like no one did. I reached out and told him that you were with me and you were safe.
No, you lie.
Why would I lie about this?
Why would he not be alive? He's Logan Silverfoot. Do you know how many battles that he has won? Do you know how great of a swordsman he is? Do you not understand everything that he has done? And you think he is dead? How dare you? Because he chose not to respond to you. And then you bring me here, of all places, to lie to me? from the first day that I met you. You claim to understand my people and my ways, but you don't understand. You wear our words on you like you know us. You don't. You don't know anything. How dare you? You don't know anything. He chose not to respond. He's Logan Silverfoot. He's the Warden of the North. He doesn't just die. Do you know how long I've been searching for him? Months. He survived for months, while everyone else around him died. And you know what he was doing during that time? He was gathering his people. He was arming himself. He was freeing people. He doesn't just die. He didn't just die. He has not gone back to the mud. And you want to know how I know? Because I would feel it in here. And she just points to her chest. And I don't feel that. And you wouldn't know anything about it, Varnas. You don't know anything about who we are, or my people, or my father. So I suggest you keep his name out of your mouth, or I will make sure you never open your mouth again.
Anything else?
You don't get it. You've always thought I was, I like Caleb, like I'm simple, that I'm a child. That I can't control myself. Is this some test? To see if I can handle something like this? If I can handle war? Is this funny? Is this some joke that you people play?
No.
I hate you. I hate you so much. How dare you bring me here and you lie to me? And you can see she's like, her fists are like white knuckled. Don't ever speak to me again. Ever! Do you understand?
He nods.
I thought you were my friend. And you bring me here to lie. You are not my friend. And she is going to leave.
Varnas, do you say anything when she leaves, or do you just let her go?
Just let her go.
Okay. Alec, as you storm out of the Mother's Temple, nothing but fury, anger, grief, sadness, but mostly anger in your heart. You search for something, but you're not exactly sure what it is. Answers, you don't know. You storm off.
As she's leaving, she's literally tipping over anything that's in her path. If there are people in her way, she will literally pick them up and throw them out of her way.
Okay.
And she is leaving the city.
The city?
Okay.
Yes.
Alrighty.
She's like going out into the forest somewhere.
Okay, so as you toss people out of your way, pushing them off to the side, and tipping over crates and barrels, all of them bend to your anger and aggression. Nothing compares to the strength that you wield, and people begin to sort of, seeing you coming, move out of the way. And as you get to the gates, they're currently barred and shut. And one of the guards waves you down and says, "Oh, Alec, is there anything I can do for you?"
Open the gate.
I'm sorry?
You heard what I said.
You heard her. Open the gate. And you can see him sort of lean over and say something to another guard and begins to head down. And you can see that other guard begin to sort of head down the stairs as well and begin to dart off in an opposite direction away from you. As the gate is open, and you can see that they're definitely trying to, the closest one would have been the north gate. So, moving up the bar, the brace, and you can see that they're kind of struggling, taking their time. Sorry, it must be jammed. I'm not sure.
She will go underneath it if it's possible for her to fit underneath.
No, it's fairly flush to the ground, but you could easily, just
Great,
yourself.
so climb over it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll say there's enough there, especially on this backside, where you can get up on the brace and begin to make your way and climb your way over. As you are doing that, there is a guard that bursts into the tavern and says, Morganix, Cyrus, Sayla, Varnas, Nahala, anybody, and sort of darting around.
I'm gonna
looking
run
around
over.
Alec is at the gate, and she's trying to leave. She yelled at us to open the gate, and I'm not exactly sure.
I'm just gonna leave and
Okay.
run out and let him ramble.
Okay, so he starts shouting off. Sayla will come with you as well. Cyrus, you're passed out. Yeah, we already established that. You're passed out and gone.
Literally unconscious, yeah.
Yeah, you can't do anything. And you can see that Philip also kind of, or not, Thomas sort of gets up and he, what's happening? And he also comes out as well, and so does Nahara, as she's just coming back into the tavern, very confused. And so Morganic, Sayla, Nahala, and Thomas all heading off. You can see at that moment Alec is just getting over the top of the gate and poof, lands on the opposite end of the gate as you just get over there.
Okay,
So Alec, are you running off into the jungle, or?
Yep.
Okay. You dart off. The guards there, they now kick it into motion, and they lift the bracer off, and do we open the gate? Do we go after her? What do we do?
stay here, leave the gates, just be ready for us when we get back. And I grab Sayla and I thunder step to the other side.
Oh shit, okay. So the crack of thunder and
Far
lightning.
enough away not to inflict damage on
of course.
Thomas or
Of course. And with that, you can actually appear in front of Alec. The crack of thunder and lightning. Alec, there is this boom right in front of you, a shimmer and crackle of bluish white light as Sayla and Morganix appear in front of you as you are just beginning to dart, as you almost slam like shoulder check into them. Do you just keep running through or do you stop?
No, she's just going.
okay, I'm gonna try to stop her. I'm just gonna hold my arms out and Red Rover this bullshit.
Okay, Sayla does it with you. So we'll say that Alec, go ahead and make an athletics check. Are you raging?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god, I'm gonna die.
Make an athletics check.
Absolutely she is.
Make an athletics check with advantage, and Morganix and Sayla's helping you. You can make an athletics check with advantage as well.
Aw.
Okay,
Oh!
alrighty. So, Alec, you are just like tears in your eyes, blinding you a little bit as you try and slam in. Morganix and Sayla do stop you. They stop you dead in your tracks as you're darting off. And are you trying to throw her to the ground or just like stop her? Like bear hug her?
I'm gonna bear hug her and climb on her friggin' back if I have to.
Okay.
Where are you going? What's going on?
She's not going to say anything, and she's just going to try to keep walking forward.
Okay, so your movement speed is halved as you are just trudging along as she's on your back. Sayla is like holding on, also trying to keep you back.
Can I like flip her off me?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you can.
I would
Go
like
ahead
to
and make
do that.
an athletics check, and Morganix make another one with advantage. Alex, yours is with advantage too.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. So this time, Morganix, you and Sailor both flipped off, as Alec, you are now free to just dart.
Okay, she's going.
She's running.
She's like full on sprinting.
Augur of the Dark.
Oh my gosh, okay. Alrighty. Purple tendrils slam out and they hit Alec in the back. That is a hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
I don't want to damage her. I want to stun her.
I get a strength saving throw
Okay, yeah, go ahead and make a strength saving throw.
with advantage, because I'd be raging.
That's
I
not
don't
your...
think I make that.
No?
That is not enough.
Okay, so she boom, slam her and she stuns, kind of just standing, kind of frozen in the middle of this path. You have 6 seconds. What are you doing?
Running up and flying squirrel tackling her.
Okay, so you tackle into her, Sayla also joining you, trying to like dogpile on top to keep her held down. With that, Alec, as you come back to, your raging has ceased because you weren't able to make that melee attack. But as it comes back, are you trying to push them off and keep going?
I'm raging again,
Okay.
and she's just gonna say, "Leave me alone."
What's wrong? What happened? Talk to me.
Push
Or
him off.
I will hurt you. Yes.
Okay. Make an athletics check with advantage. Morganix, you too. Oh, hot damn, what the fuck?
Boom.
Holy shit.
Okay.
Odin is with us.
Okay, so with that, Alec, as you struggle and try and get out...
Wrapping my arms around her and squeezing in the tightest hug I can.
And Sayla is right there with you, squeezing as tight as possible. And Alec, you would physically have to hurt them to get them off now. They are clung on dead tight.
Okay. I think that if that's the case, she's just going to fall to her knees and just cry.
Okay, you drop down. Morganix, you can feel
Morgana
it.
will fall with her.
Yeah, you can feel the tension relieve. Sayla immediately lets go, seeing that there's no more danger of her running away. But Morganix, you are still clung on tight.
Yeah, I will just hold her.
Okay. Morganix, you hold her. Alec, what are you doing? Just crying on your knees?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I will kind of maneuver to the ground and just kind of almost pull her into my lap and just hold her and stroke her hair.
Okay. Alec, do you do anything or do you just let it happen?
No, she's not fighting anymore.
Okay. Pull her in. You sit there. Do either one of you say anything?
No.
Not for a while.
Okay. So, the two of you sit there. Alec currently being almost halfway cradled in Morganix's arms. Tears streaming down your face, and Morganix, you just stare down at her, trying your best to comfort her. Sayla
I
stands
look
off.
up at Sayla once or twice, imagining she is extremely uncomfortable.
That's what I was just about to say. Extremely
Sorry.
uncomfortable. No, that's okay. She is sort of looking down and then sort of looking away and looking up at the sky, arms crossed, sort of patting her arm, just not really exactly sure what to do. So, as you hold her there, Alec just given up limp in your arms, you can see that nobody's pursuing you. You were told that they all should stay there, so the three of you stand there, waiting, and that is where we are going to pick up next week. Woo! Yay, D&D!
That's fun.
Oh my.
Oh, what the fuck just happened?
Oh.
I'm sad now.
Oh my god. Performance of a lifetime. Holy crap.
Yay! You did good.
I want ice cream.
Oh
I
my.
will never in my life roll that well again.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Two
you
natural
fucking lucky
20s?
bitch. I hate you so much.
Never again.
How the fuck did you beat Alec twice on a strength test? I hate you so much.
The gods are with me.
Oh yeah, they were.
I love you.
Okay, well, oh my god, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I greatly appreciate you. If you like, leave a follow. We'll be back next Friday. God, I want to play tomorrow because I want to know what the fuck is going to happen. Oh my gosh. Oh, I thought this session was going to end on such a lighthearted note because, oh, everybody's drinking. Cyrus is talking to a French guy and they got tattoos of each other's names.
Bitch, you thought?
I know! What an idiot I am to think that the Explorers of Efera could be fun for 2/3 of a session. No, it is fun though. Comical, I guess I should say. Lighthearted. There we go. This is heavy-hearted. Oh my god, great
Let's fucking murder some people next week.
Yeah,
Ready.
great job all around to everybody. There was some really, really fucking dynamite roleplay tonight, so thank you all so much. Thank you so much for watching, and tune in tomorrow for the Isles of Averion, which will probably be, well, fuck, the guy's got having a brain aneurysm. I'm not sure it's going to be lighthearted. I guess we'll see what happens. So, with that, thank you for watching, and I hope that you have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, or night. Farewell. Adios.
Yeah, Rock's gonna fucking murder someone tomorrow.
God.